The Galactic Academy's training dome hummed with the soft blue glow of force fields as Eva stood motionless in the corner, her eyes tracking the 3 Krolix students who circled her like predators. Their chitinous exoskeletons gleamed under the artificial light, mandibles clicking in what she had learned was their version of laughter. "The human doesn't even have proper armor plating," hissed Ziegther, the largest of the 3. "Look at that soft skin. One strike, and she bleeds." Eva said nothing. She had learned early in her first semester at the academy that silence often revealed more about others than words ever could. The other species mistook her quietness for weakness, her smallness for fragility. They didn't understand Earth, the Deathworld that had forged humanity in fires they couldn't imagine. "Maybe she's too frightened to speak," another Krolix taunted, extending a razor sharp. "Should we test how easily that skin tears?" The combat training session had been routine until Instructor Liam had been called away on an emergency. The Valathian professor had assured the class he would return shortly, but these 3 had seen an opportunity. Eva had noticed their glances, their whispered communications in subsonic frequencies they assumed she couldn't detect. But human hearing evolved to catch the rustle of predators in tall grass. Picked up enough, Ziegther lunged without warning, a movement that would have been lightning fast to most species. Eva's body reacted before conscious thought, millennia of predator-prey dynamics encoded in her DNA, and the Krolix's claw whistled past her face, missing by centimeters. "She's quick," one of them chittered. "No matter." 3 against 1. They attacked in unison, a coordinated strike that had felled many opponents in sanctioned matches. But sanctioned matches had rules. This didn't, and that changed everything. Eva's grandfather had been a soldier in the Amazon territories. Her mother had survived the Australian outback trials. Her father had worked deep-sea mining operations where the pressure alone could crush most alien species. She carried their legacy in every cell, every fast-twitch muscle fiber, every overcomplicated stress response that made humans the galaxy's most paradoxical species, simultaneously fragile and utterly relentless. The first Krolix learned this when Eva caught its foreclaw mid-strike, twisted with the precise application of leverage that human martial arts had perfected over thousands of years, and used its own momentum to send it crashing into the training dome's wall. The force field flared red at the impact. The second hesitated, and hesitation was fatal in combat. Eva's leg swept out not with the measured control of a training exercise, but with the full force of a gravity-born species, whose muscles had evolved under conditions that would cripple most galactic citizens. The crack of chitin echoed through the dome. Ziegther, realizing too late that they had made a catastrophic miscalculation, attempted to retreat. But Eva had already closed the distance, her fists soft, unarmored, fragile human flesh wrapped around bones that could regenerate, that could heal, that carried the history of a species that had conquered a planet trying to kill them. Connected with his thorax, the Krolix leader collapsed, gasping in the oxygen-nitrogen mix that humans found comfortable and most others found barely adequate. Eva stood over them, chest heaving, adrenaline flooding her system with the chemical cocktail that had allowed her ancestors to fight saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves. Her hands trembled not from fear, but from the stress response that humans called the fight-or-flight reflex, though her species had always leaned heavily toward the former. The dome doors burst open. Instructor Liam strode in, his 6 eyes widening as he took in the scene. 3 Krolix students disabled on the ground, and 1 small human standing silent amid the wreckage. What happened here? His voice carried the authority of someone who had trained warriors across a dozen species. Eva finally spoke, her voice steady despite the hammering of her heart. "They attacked me, sir. I defended myself." Liam's translator Chip struggled with the complexity of human emotional undertones. He had served in the Galactic Defense Force for 3 centuries, had seen countless species in combat, but humans still puzzled him. They were Category 12 Deathworlders, the highest classification yet. They attended classes beside beings from garden worlds, spoke softly, smiled often, until they didn't. He examined the fallen Krolix, his medical scanner confirming what he already suspected. Injuries consistent with extreme force trauma, but calculated, precise. Nothing fatal, but thoroughly This human had ended the fight with exactly the necessary force, and not 1 measure more. "The security footage will confirm your account," Liam said, studying Eva's face. Her pupils were still dilated, her breathing elevated. Classic human stress response. "But I must ask, did you feel you were in genuine danger?" Eva met his gaze. Sir, on my world, we have a saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. They thought I was prey. I am not prey. Liam understood then what many in the galaxy struggled to comprehend. Humans didn't come from a world of apex predators. They came from a world where they had to become the apex predators. Every human carried within them the DNA of survivors who had outlasted ice ages, plagues, predators with fangs and claws and venom. I see, he said quietly. And the three of them will recover, sir. I was careful. That was what chilled him most. She had been careful. While pumped full of combat drugs her own body produced, while facing three opponents larger and seemingly more dangerous, while defending her life she had still maintained control. Liam activated his communicator. Medical team to training Dome 7. 3 students require attention. He paused, then added, and notified the disciplinary board. We need to discuss proper supervision protocols. As the medical team arrived, Eva remained still, her silence returning like a comfortable cloak. She had proven what every human knew but the galaxy kept forgetting. Deathworlders didn't just survive impossible odds, they thrived on them. Later, as Liam filed his report, he added a note that would circulate through Instructor channels. Human students may appear non-threatening due to their social nature and small stature. Do not mistake politeness for weakness. Do not assume silence means fear. And never, ever leave them unsupervised with those who might test these assumptions. The Instructor may arrive too late, but the Deathworlder will still be standing.